Metal-heads.de.
Hello metalheads, it's Saturday evening in Düsseldorf. What's better to do than visiting a rock and roll show? A fucking rock and roll show, I can tell you. Interviewing the front man. Nice to have you here.
Hello. Hello metalheads. It's good to be here in Düsseldorf. And greetings to you wherever you all are.
So, perhaps you could introduce your band, what you're playing, and because I think you're not well known here.
Yeah, of course. I'm Dylan Villain. I play lead guitar, lead singer of The Wild from British Columbia, Canada.
And you play folk, rock and roll, metal?
We play rock and roll, man. We play rock and roll in every sense of the word. In this year of 2018, a lot of people, I think, say, we play rock and roll, we play rock music, and I feel like there's a bit of a blurred line between what a lot of people call even rock music nowadays. But we're that band that's here to really put an end to the questions of what rock music is, what rock and roll music sounds like. I don't like what I hear, especially in North America. I'll tell you that, being that we're from Canada. I don't like what I hear these rock bands say. Oh yeah, these bands say, these alternative sounding bands that say, well, we're rock band. It's on the rock chart. It's rock magazines and shit like that. And it pisses me off because you get all these bands that are really working really, really hard to excel in their genre, and in their scenes. And then you got all these other bands that just, we'll go on the rock chart, we'll go on this, that. And I'm not saying that those bands aren't good bands. It's not that. But they're not rock bands. So we are what real rock and roll sounds like.
I read you toured with the Glorious Sons, who are from Canada also.
Yeah, well, we've known those guys a while. Yeah, and we've done some shows together on different festival bills back home in Canada.
Are they a rock and roll band?
You know what? They, in every sense of the word, are a rock and roll band because they live and breathe it, and they're out there working their asses off and blowing up. Their first record, The Union, is a great rock and roll record. The latest record, it's not so much a rock record as their first one, The Union, was, but it's a great record, and it's taken them to whole new heights and brought, helped them realize a lot of their dreams. And I got nothing but love for those guys. Brett, Jay, Packer, Mamba, all the boys. Like, I got love for those guys. Those guys are my friends. But yeah, man, they're another Canadian band that's really achieved a lot in the last few years. So I'm happy for them. Despite the fact that record doesn't sound as much, say, rock and roll as the first record, it's a great record, and it's doing them very, very well. So yeah, love you boys.
I saw them last year in Cologne and interviewed Brett. Great band, fantastic guys.
Yes.
And from Canada, Duncan Jones, also from Canada. So is Canada the new home country of rock and roll?
Dude, I hope so, man. Monster Truck as well. Another.
They're touring with Blackstone Cherry, I think.
Right. They are, yes, and they are actually in Europe.
Next week in Cologne.
Okay, well, if you see them, tell them we said hi. It's a great band, and there's lots of great bands in Canada, and I hope that I feel what I'll tell you like this. I feel like that Europe is noticing that. They notice that there's a lot of great rock and roll bands coming out of Canada, more so than the United States does. But that's okay because we like Europe a lot better. We love coming here. It's a fantastic place to be, and rock music. The fans here, they're just crazy and loud, and they support bands, and they travel all over to see you. And I love to see that. So I love to be a part of that. Coming from another country, it's really amazing to see.
Thanks. Yeah. So the rock and roll lifestyle, does it mean doing what you want, whatever you want, and giving a fuck what other people think?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
You
Let me interrupt you. Isn't that exactly what some politicians do nowadays, like Donald Trump? Is he a real rock star now?
You know what I got into when I got into rock and playing rock and roll and being a musician in general. I'm not. It was to get away from things like politics and a lot of things in everyday life that stress you out and that piss you off and make you, think about all the shit that gets under your skin in the world. So to me, it's always been an escape from that because I associate my experience of rock and roll, I associate with freedom. And for me, my version of freedom doesn't give a fuck about political views or any of it. I don't. And I try as much as I can, as much as now more than ever, is a time where you need to be conscious of these sorts of things. However, when I'm taking a musical stance, it's about the music, and that's all it's about. Too many bands use it, and you know what? I understand it. I get it. You're using it as a platform to express your views, and that's cool. But my band will never be that band. It's not what it's about for us. We're about the feeling of freedom and individual freedom and personal freedom within everybody that's listening to our band. And that's a different thing to everyone, and I realize that. But it's not what I'm singing about. And it's not what I'm trying to waste my time thinking about either.
Is it also taking care of each other, of the band, the fans, and people in the scene all together?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. You got it. I would rather think of it like at the show and within the world of the tour or the band and all that and the fans and everything like that. That is, to me, is like an extension of family in the sense that, when we're out here doing this, think about it, we're how many miles from home right now? And we meet people like you and all other fans and stuff at the shows. And we get treated with such love and support from people who we've never even met before. And, that to me is when you start to realize that rock and roll brings people together. In that community in itself binds people, and we look out for each other and we support each other. And that's pretty cool to me.
And do you stay in contact with fans from all over the world via social media like Facebook or?
Yeah. Hell yeah, yeah, we're great at it. We're not too good for anybody, man. You know what I mean? Like we're not that band that's like that. We play every single show. We're there signing and taking pictures till the last fan is gone or till they kick us out of the venue. And social media is no different. Like I literally answer as many people as I can. If I miss you,
you do it yourself.
Yeah. I took a stance on that a while ago because I always found that when an artist stops doing their own social media, you can tell as a fan. Say you're a fan of a band or it's an artist of some sort, and you can tell somebody else is now running their social media. You can tell by the way things are worded, and you kind of go, I get it. Like I get certain people like, who are mega stars or whatever, but when you, especially nowadays where it's so much a part of the whole thing, I love it. And I love interacting with the fans, and they ask questions that you typically wouldn't get asked, and you want to answer them. Because I remember when there wasn't social media, and if I had an outlet or an opportunity to ask one of my idols a question and get answered, or even just a band that I was a fan of and get answered back, that would feel really good. I would probably make my day. My whole life in some instances. So, why not? Now it exists. Don't act, you don't have to be too cool for your fans, man. Like those are your people.
Buying your food and so on, and booze.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get back to music. You got a very famous producer. Yeah. How did you come to it?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. So How did it go from the very, very, very start? Let's see. We were, because he's near the area where we're from. He's in Vancouver. We live in Kelowna, which is 4 hours away. Our manager lives in Vancouver as well, and they knew each other. And he heard one of our very first songs, and he just called and said, he's like, I know exactly what to do with this band. And at the time when that message got back to me, all I was thinking was like, well, yeah, that's amazing. First of all, I was, fucking stoked, but how am I going to be able to work with this guy? He's here and I'm down here.
Yeah, really great band.
Oh, 22 years AC/DC records, Van Halen, Aerosmith, Motley Crue, Metallica, they're just everybody, And so anyway, I'm like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to afford? Really, is what it get down to it. If you want the truth, I thought, how am I going to afford to do this? So, at any rate, we set up a meeting, and we were sitting across from each other, and I just was like, you kind of got past the first minutes of being like, holy shit, it's Mike Fraser, But he's such a great guy. He's so calm and chill. Like that was, put to rest pretty quick. But anyway, I'm going, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And I have a 1965 Cadillac DeVille. It's like my prized possession, And I just thought, this is all I got. So I told him, we start talking about the record and how we want to, his ideas for our sound and things like that. And I'm loving it. And it just got to the point where it's just like, fuck it. So I took my keys from my Cadillac out of my pocket. I just put them on the table and I went, that's all I got in my whole life to offer you to do this. And he just started laughing at me. And I said, what are you laughing at? And he said, the last time somebody did this to me, first of all, he gave me the keys back. But he said,
very important.
Yeah, nice guy, right? But no, he said, the last time this guy did this to me, he said, I still have his car. And I said, oh, shit, right? And he goes, no, don't. He said, don't worry, it was John Bon Jovi. And I went, oh, cool. Put the keys in. So we making a record or what? But yeah, it ended up working out, and we did it, and we did the second one with him as well. And Mike will always be involved with our band, just because of through working those records and the relationship that we formed, on in and out of the studio, sort of on and off. The whole working relationship is just like no other, as a personal friend as well. And because of that, it really lends to the whole experience of working together. So when you're that close with somebody, when you're making music, it's never, it doesn't hurt it. It's good. It's positive. So we'll always be working together, him and I.
After all, he's just a normal music fan and helped you worked songwriting, or was his influence just with the sound?
It's cool because we produce together. That's why, on the last record I got the co-production credit with him, because when we're working together, it is a team effort, and we kind of become one brain in a way. So he's just got this amazing ability to go, like if I'm working something or singing something or whatever, he's got this amazing ability to go, yeah, okay, wait, that, what's that? And basically how it works is like, I just write songs and we get it in the room, all of us, the band, and shape all the parts together. And then when Mike comes in, he's got this ear where he just knows that's okay, that part, and then we need to take that and really focus on this part and then run with it, or that's not working, let's not worry about that. So it's more of the process is an interesting one, and I enjoy it that way, because it's almost this like assembly of yes and no. Is this working? Yes, great, okay. What can we do with it? No, that's not working. Stop thinking about it, And it's that sort of partnership that him and I have when we're, working songs up, that it just works well together. You know, it just we sort of, like I said, become one brain and share the process.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's your first headliner tour in Europe. So
Yeah.
how is it going? You're satisfied?
Fucking incredible, honestly. And I'll be real with you. I'll be honest. We didn't really know what to expect, you know, because we've toured Europe before, but support, and you know, we supported earlier this year Rose Tattoo, one of the band's favorite bands. Oh, fucking amazing, you know, and
Old, but still kicking ass.
oh, dude, like it was insane every night, and they really pushed us. They pushed us to be a better band. And like on that tour, we did 9 shows in a row, and we had never done that. You know, we had played a lot of shows in a row, but 9 in a row we had never done. And they, like, looking at the schedule, I was going like, this is fucking, you know, that's some shit. The 9 shows in a row is a lot. And, you know, they're, you know, I'm not saying anything bad about my idols, but they're getting old. So I was like, what's this going to be like? But they're fucking every day up in the morning and fucking, come on, let's go. And fucking, and after every show, you know, we'd get off stage, they'd be waiting for us, fucking watching the show. And to have your heroes, you know, take that much of a liking to you and support you and really champion what you're doing as a musician and as a band, as a group of individuals, is like nothing I could ever explain. So, you know, I've said it a few times on this tour, and I'll say it now for the record. You know, I can't thank them enough for giving us the opportunity to go out with them, because in a way, without bands like them and Airborne as well, who we went for our first time overseas in the UK last year. There you go, yeah, fuck yeah, you know. Without those two bands giving us the opportunity to come over and play for all of their fans and introduce us for our first times in UK and in Europe, or I guess, pardon me, like, you know, Germany and Switzerland, France, all that stuff that we played earlier this year. This wouldn't be possible. The way the shows have been going on this tour wouldn't have been possible. And again, I said it at the start, we weren't prepared. Like, I guess that's a bad word. We weren't ready to. We didn't know what to expect. We weren't ready to see how it's been every night. Like, it's just been, the shows have been packed, and they've been crazy and loud, and just fucking the way you want them to be for your first time coming here headlining. And again, from being from a completely different country and coming over here for the very first time and seeing people getting so loud, knowing all the words, just getting fucking crazy. It's just, I love it. And it reminds me of when we first started out in Canada. You know, you're playing to 100 to 200 people every night, but those 100 to 200 people know you and they love you and they know the words, and they're fucking, it's just a party and it's crazy. And there's something about that I haven't, we as a band haven't played in a long time. You know, we haven't done that sort of stuff in a long time. So it's cool as shit. It's humbling. And it like makes you hungry all over again, because now you want to turn the 200 into 500 and the 500 into 1,000. And, you know, you want to come to Europe and let them know that you're not fucking around and you're a good band, and you want to be over here working. And it doesn't matter that we're from the other side of the world. We really appreciate everyone here in Europe and the love and support that we get from them. So, you know, thank you very much. Love you guys. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, great to hear. I think Germany loves honest bands who work their ass off on stage. But I think time is running short. And one last question.
Yes.
Tattoos.
What about them?
Do you have a favorite tattoo artist, or tattoo artist you still admire who has to do some work on you?
Well, yeah, for sure. There's a lot of guys that, you know, I'd love to get tattooed by, for sure. But you know, one of my really good friends who's no longer with us anymore, he did a lot of my stuff. And he actually did this tattoo, which is now our logo, you know. And that's why you know, I always think of him when I talk about tattooing. You know, I have so many friends, like close, very, very close friends in the industry. But, you know, Dustin Bones was one of the greatest tattooers and greatest people that I have ever known. And I miss him. And every night when, you know, I put on my cut or our backdrop goes up behind us and I look at my hand when I'm playing guitar, I think of him and how supportive he always was about, you know, me being in a band and being a musician. And he was a great dude and I miss him. And, you know, it's cool in a way for me now to have his memory live on through his art.
For eternity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, there's, you know, I love it. I love that shit. And they always go hand in hand with rock and roll and music in general, you know, tattoos and music. And we're all artists and we all get along because we're all a little bit fucked up in the head, you know.
Yeah. We're waiting for some booze and fucking good rock and roll. So thank you a lot. Yeah. And last words is always to the artist. So.
Okay. Well, real quick, I'll just say thank you again. Thank you to everybody overseas here that's been putting us on, that's been showing us so much love and support. And we just want you to know that we really, really mean it when we say we love you and we appreciate it. And we're looking forward to coming back with some new music next year. You're going to be hearing some of it real soon, and you'll be seeing more of us over here, all right? So thank you once again. We love you guys. Rock and roll!
Metal-heads.de